with the strength of 1,000 men. Johnny, Flame On, Torch, and Sue, the Invisible Girl. The Fantastic Four, united in their fight against interplanetary evil. Fantastic!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Corner. I'm Steve.
And I'm Joe.
And we're here to talk comics with you. We host a show called Dinner and a Podcast with our buddies Mike and Seb, but each week we want to share our thoughts on our favorite comic books, new and old, with you. This is a review show, so there will be spoilers, and all books that we discuss will be listed in the show info below. If you want us to read any books or hear our thoughts on any particular artist or writer, please contact us on social media at Dinner and a Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or email us at dinnerandpodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear what you think, so our critiques, we love to hear what you think about our critiques, so let us know what you think. This week's books, we are going to be discussing the Marvel 2-in-1s, the Human Torch, and the Thing, or is it the Thing and the Human Torch? I think it's the Thing and the Human Torch. Yeah, Thing and the Human Torch. He goes first. But before that, Joe,
Yeah.
do you have any news?
I got a little bit of news.
All right, let's hear it.
So I saw the other day that there's a comic book coming out called The Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I saw that.
But there's an interesting change in a character that was a villain, might be a hero now.
Okay.
And I guess you would call him a cult classic icon.
All right.
So Howard the Duck
Howard the Duck.
becomes
Yeah.
the Juggernaut.
Okay.
In this, I guess whatever this new realm is with the Cosmic Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
he gets the, what's it called? The Crimson Gem of Sidorak that turns the Juggernaut into the Juggernaut, and he becomes the new Juggernaut.
Oh, Jesus.
Juggerduck.
Juggerduck. Duckernaut.
Duckernaut, right?
Yeah. Do we like that? I don't know.
You know, I thought the comic book was coming out,
Yeah.
like, soon.
Right.
I
think it's coming out this week.
I was going to pick it up.
Yeah.
It hasn't come out yet, so I might buy it just to see the new take on a different character, if they're new heroes, it's a different like universe. I kind of like that. It breaks up the monotony of the current stuff that we have.
Yeah, sure. I definitely saw that on Marvel's release calendar
Right.
this week. But they're always wrong.
Oh yeah, they're way off.
You guys ever notice that? How Marvel release calendar... I'm always going to my comic book shop, like with my phone in my hand. I'm like, no, you forgot to give me this. And they're like, no, it didn't come out this week. And I'm like, no, yeah, it did. And they're like, no, it didn't.
Look,
Trust
it's in the
us."
magazine.
Yeah, right. We did get a little bit of feedback from somebody.
Okay. What did we get wrong?
No, we didn't get anything wrong, except our opinions. Our opinions were wrong.
That's okay.
Yeah. So today, we got to see it's opening night of Ant-Man.
Right.
So we're a week. We always release this a week after.
Right.
So that we don't spoil the books the same week that you read them. But today is opening night of Ant-Man, so it's July 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And I did another podcast today with my friend Matt Lees, who contacted us through Dinner and a Podcast.
He loves my jokes.
He loves your jokes. He loves Mike's show. They love that you make fun of me so much. And then they have a co-host named Just John.
Right.
And Just John thought that they were talking to Mike today. Like, they thought Mike was going to be on the show. And he was very disappointed that I was the one on the show and not Mike.
We got to get Mike on that show.
Yeah, good luck with that. But they're called Legend in My Spare Time. Really good podcast, really funny guys. There's no filter.
Right.
That's what I like about them. They talk about whatever. They let you know exactly what's on their mind. They have zero filter. But Just John is a very big comic book fan.
Okay.
And he's a huge Wolverine fan.
Okay.
Huge X-Men fan.
Right.
Did not like that we liked the tie-ins so much.
Why?
He just thinks that it's like a cash grab, that there are too many books.
I agree.
I 100% agree. And I explained to him, because he's like, I got a bone to pick with you. And he's Welsh, so he's got an accent.
Right.
I got a bone to pick with you. I don't know. I can't do it. But they love doing New York accents. Let me tell you. They love it. But he was very upset. And I was like, listen, Marvel, for me,
Right.
hasn't come out with a lot of good stuff. And this was kind of energizing because it was the first thing I liked from Marvel in a long time.
It was entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked
I'm with everybody that says, all these tie-ins are cash grabs.
Right.
I stopped buying Marvel before that.
Yeah.
But you told me about these books, and you got me into them.
Yeah.
And once I read issue 1, I was all in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're good.
He doesn't want flashbacks anymore. He's like, I read all this as a kid. I don't need to read it again. I personally like the montages, the
Right.
throwbacks, because it reminds me of when I first saw it or when I first read it.
But they're subtle.
Yeah, they kind of, well, some of them are.
I mean, just the one is a complete flash. Now that I've read multiple issues
Yeah.
of Mystery and Madripoor,
Yeah.
it's a flashback of someone else's stories of Wolverine.
Right.
So like the first one is like Psylocke. The second one is Kitty Pryde. I think the third one now is Jubilee.
I didn't
yeah.
read the second ones yet.
Yeah.
I was saving them for this show. But John, we totally get it.
Yep. We're with you.
And we needed something to talk about that week. We want to kind of switch back and forth between Marvel and DC.
Well, I'll tell them this: if you find them on sale, if like they're near like $1 bin or 50-cent bin or trades on sale, buy them. I think you'll enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you like Wolverine that much, I think you'll enjoy these books.
I think he did read them. I think he read them.
Okay.
And he just disagreed.
Oh, okay.
I think he
never
just
mind.
disagreed.
Well, then he's entitled to his
Yeah,
opinion.
no, that's what I said. I was
Yep.
like, yeah, I was like, you love Wolverine so much. That's why you're so upset
Yeah.
about this. I was like, if this was someone talking to me,
It got me buying Marvel books again.
right? Like when I listen to, there's another comic podcast out there called The Amazing Spider Talk that you got me into
Right.
a while ago, and all they do is Spider-Man books. I get so mad when they like a Spider-Man book because I can't stand these Spider-Man
Yep.
books lately.
Well, they love what's his name,
They
Dan
love
Slott.
they love Dan Slott. Actually, I think they flip flop on him.
Depends.
It depends, yeah.
But
But this week, I think we should talk a little bit about Ant-Man because it's been a week,
okay.
right? By the time people hear this, it'll be out a week. And I think anybody who's listening to a comic book podcast,
No spoilers?
no, I think we should go spoilers.
Nah, I don't think so. It's too soon.
1 week?
Yeah. Too
Ant-Man?
soon. Yeah.
Comic book show.
Too soon.
All right. So what you think of the? No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's a good movie.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Not my favorite.
Definitely not.
If you want to know our favorite and where we stand on this, listen to Dinner and a Podcast, and we will rank this movie.
Well, I think. Do you think? Now, okay. On Dinner and a Podcast, we have ranked and re-ranked the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
This one's gonna be real easy to slot in.
Yeah, I think so. But we've re-ranked it about what 5, 6 times, 7 times.
Yeah.
Every time a new Marvel movie
Yep.
comes out, we re-rank it, and we started re-ranking around Guardians 2. I want to say maybe
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
Guardians 2. We started ranking them. So this I liked the first Ant-Man better.
Yes, I agree.
I like this better than Doctor Strange.
I agree.
I like Thor better than this.
Uh-huh.
Thor Ragnarok better than this. I like Guardians 2 better than this.
Everything else I like better than this.
Everything else? Spider-Man Homecoming?
Uh-huh.
This might be better than Spider-Man Homecoming. What do you mean, nope?
Nope.
Why?
Because I wasn't as entertained.
I was so underwhelmed by Spider-Man Homecoming.
I if this comes on TV,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll watch it.
Really?
Spider-Man comes on, I always put it on.
I never watch it unless it's on the scene with the ferry.
Really?
That's like the only scene I'll watch.
No, I really like Spider-Man Homecoming.
It drags.
It grew on me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I watched it a second and
Maybe
third
this
time.
one will too.
Maybe.
But we talked about it, like the jokes and all that stuff.
Evangeline Lilly is so freaking amazingly hot.
Mhm.
God, she's hot. Yeah, but there were definitely some jokes that fell flat in
Yeah,
this movie.
it was. They were trying to do what they did in the first one.
Yeah. And some of it worked. Some of it worked. Michael Pena was funny.
By all means, it's not a bad
No,
movie.
not at all.
It's not Thor: Dark World.
Definitely not. No, it's right in the middle.
Yep, it's
right in
better
the
than
middle.
anything DC's put out.
Black Panther's better than this movie.
Yep.
I think by a lot. I think Black Panther's better than this movie by a lot. This is an entertaining, fun
very
movie.
good.
I'm not a big.
You won't be disappointed.
No, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. So I was like, I think this is way better than Solo. I think that's kind of fair. This kicks Jurassic World's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Jurassic World is the worst movie ever, but it was fine. It was a fine movie.
Stay till after the
There's two.
outro,
Yeah, there's 2 end credit scenes.
and you could leave after that. Don't wait till after the credits.
No, let people stay for all of it.
Really?
Yeah, make people. We had to.
Trying to do a public service
We had
announcement
to.
here.
There's one after credit scene, no spoilers, before the credits roll, and then there's one after all the credits roll.
Yes.
One is very worth it, one is not so worth it, but you have to stay for both. You got to stay for both. I think you should stay for both.
Okay.
Special effects,
Really cool.
really cool, right?
Really cool. Really visually captivating.
Mhm.
They did a lot of cool stuff with different characters.
Yeah. How'd you like the villain?
Was there a villain?
For most of the movie. Well, no spoilers.
It was more of like a.
It was someone who needed something
Yeah.
more than a villain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a counterweight to the story.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you just finish what you were gonna do, which I think they could have just done anyway.
Yeah. That's
Without
true.
the villain,
Right.
that had enough gravity behind it. Be like, all right, well, this is the plot.
Yeah.
It's dangerous enough.
Well, if they would have kind of went deeper into that area that they're exploring,
Right.
that might have been boring.
But-
if you know what I mean. Is it known where they're going in this?
I don't think so.
I don't watch the trailers. Whatever. Just go see it.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's
It's a
worth
good
it.
movie. You're gonna enjoy it. You kind of come out enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near as good as everything else. It's in the middle of the pack. In the middle of the pack.
It's worth it.
100%. And Evangeline Lilly is just magnificent actress, beautiful, beautiful woman. So that theme song that you heard us playing at the top, we played that for a reason. We play all of our theme songs for a reason these days.
We're gonna run out soon.
We're gonna run out of theme songs soon, yeah, maybe. But then we can just play the Marvel intro thing with
That's
the page
true.
flipping. The page flips.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, or Batman '89 or something.
Something.
But we're doing, which is one of our favorite Marvel books, or maybe our only favorite Marvel book in the past 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Before the Hunt for Wolverine, I wasn't buying hardly any Marvel, and this was really the only Marvel I was picking up besides the Darth Vader book that I read.
Yeah.
And it's called Marvel 2-in-1s, The Thing and the Human Torch. And we're going to review the first 6 issues.
It's the first story arc, right?
There's the first. I don't know if there is a story arc. Does the 7th one have a title on the top?
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first 6 issues are called Fate of the Four, and they all have different. It's not like Fate of the Four Part 1, Part 2. Every one of them has a different title.
Right.
I'm missing number 5, but I read it.
Okay.
I can't find the book. I don't know where it is. But how'd you like this book?
I loved it.
You liked it a lot, right?
As I was reading issue 3.
Yeah. Yellow board.
No.
Oh, I did.
I was entertained to see an adventure book.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of like the old Fantastic Four stories where it was
Yeah.
just, 4 heroes go on an adventure, it's resolved.
Yeah.
This kind of had the little bit of that overarching story arc, but each book had an end to it.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that.
Right.
And then the next book just continued the story
Yeah.
arc, and then that book had an end to it. Resolved that issue for that book, which I don't get very often now.
Right. Right.
So I really liked it. Or like if they canceled the book and I didn't get the overarching story, or I missed one, I was happy reading that book. Going, all right, well, you know what, this is okay.
And a lot of books these days don't summarize the other books that
Yep.
prior to them. This one did.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of, especially in DC, they do not like to summarize what's going on in the
I
storyline.
expect you to remember what you're reading.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, that's fine. But I like when they do that.
Yep.
Because especially when they only come out once a month.
Yep.
It's by Zdarsky and Chung. Zdarsky is the same author who's doing the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man.
Right.
Which I really, really enjoy. And I think the artwork in this is
Chung.
Is Chung.
That's what got me to buy it to begin with. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love his art. And Marvel fucking did it again.
What they do.
They changed artists.
Did they?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
Zdarsky, Chung. He's on 6.
It's the cover.
Sheedy. Shitty? Shitty.
As the books move forward,
Yeah.
the cover art is by Chung, but
Okay.
the actual book is.
I
by
gotta be
other
honest, I
artists.
didn't really notice very much.
The art was good.
Yeah, the art was good.
I just don't like being like.
Bamboozled?
Yeah.
Okay. I really enjoyed this book as well. Now, do you think this is because Marvel's getting the rights back with Fox, or potentially getting the rights back with Fox for the
Absolutely,
Fantastic Four?
absolutely.
Because we haven't seen a Fantastic Four book in how many years? Ever since Marvel sold the rights.
Well, I think recently they've started putting promos out that they're coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know that this book is going to tie right into
Yeah.
when they return.
Exactly, yeah. And we got a little teaser in that Marvel. What was their Rebirth called? It wasn't called Generations.
Legacy.
Legacy.
I didn't read that.
Okay, I have that book, and in that book they show you
Where they are.
Sue and Reed. And this book came out months and months and months ago. So if you haven't picked that up, I mean, go get it.
Right.
But at the end they show you Sue, Reed, and the kids.
Right.
In some other dimension. You don't know what dimension they're in. But they're showing you them. So I think this book's going to tie directly in to the new Fantastic Four book, and it should. So the way it starts off is they do a lot of flashback stuff, but it starts off with Johnny Storm racing a car,
Right.
and it appears that he's trying to hurt himself, because that's what it comes out as the beginning. He's crashing on purpose. And then it goes back to little flashbacks to the Fantastic Four all together and doing their battles and fighting people. There are some parts I'm gonna kind of skip over because it's not really that important. But Spider-Man comes. Spider-Man makes an appearance to Ben Grimm at some type of award show, and he tells him, listen, you got to go talk to Johnny because Johnny's in a bad place right now. Johnny's not doing so hot. And so he does. Ben goes and talks to Johnny. On his way to go talk to Johnny, he runs into Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, who I didn't read any of the infamous Iron Man books.
Right.
So apparently Dr. Doom is a good guy now?
Yes.
Or is he an anti-hero? I didn't read any of it. Did
you read
it?
Both.
A little of both?
Yeah.
Well, he confronts Ben, and he's like, listen, I got this artifact that I kind of stole from the Baxter building from Reed, and I can't open it because it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for you. So I'd be really pissed if I was the Thing. Like, this guy prances into your house, the Baxter building, steals this artifact, and then decides to give it back to you when he can't use it. Because he couldn't figure out how to open this thing. So he gives it back to Ben because it was a message from Reed for Ben just in case Reed died. Mm-hmm. And he ends up opening up this message, and it was kind of like Star Wars with help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope kind of thing, where it's this hologram of Reed Richards, and he's like, I like this one. I like this panel a lot because Reed's like, I had to re-record this message like 1,000 times because there are so many different scenarios that could have happened. He's like, if you're hearing this and it's scanning the thing for the scenario of what's going on in the world, and he's like, if you're hearing this, you and Johnny survived. Me, Sue, and the kids are gone.
Right.
But I have this. I'm giving you this machine or this device called the multisect. Right? Is it called the multisect?
Yep.
I got notes here. It's called the multisect, and it basically allows you to travel through the multiverse. He doesn't say why he gives it to him, though, does he? He just says there's this. Does he say come look for us?
I think it's like an implication that this can lead to them.
Right.
He doesn't actually say that, but it's so that they can continue to do their adventures. They could be themselves, and that the Thing and the Human Torch can have an identity.
Right.
The Thing uses that as like a stepping on point to get Johnny Storm on board.
But he doesn't do it on purpose.
No.
So he takes this information and he goes to find Johnny, and he sees that Johnny's in a bad place. So in order to like kind of make Johnny happy, he kind of says, listen, I think we can find Reed, Sue, and the boy and the kids with what he gave me, and he gives them false hope.
Right.
And that lasts throughout basically the entire series here. But I like at first how he's so worried about Johnny. And Johnny's like, I'm fine. I'm not trying to commit suicide, because there's a panel here where Johnny's flying into like the atmosphere, and he burns out in the atmosphere, and he's falling to Earth, and the Thing has to catch him. And the Thing's like, don't do it. It's not worth the. And he's like, I'm not trying to kill myself, you moron. I'm trying to test myself because my powers aren't right. And he finds out that his powers he can't keep his flame.
Right.
He's got like ED for his flame for his flame on powers, and he doesn't know why. But that's the book. They have to go on a journey.
Yeah.
Here's a device.
That's the overarching story.
That's the overarching story, that they have to use this device.
They have to find this device.
That's true. Yeah.
Because they have a clue. They have a clue of where it is.
And the clue is where our
first adventure was.
Where our first adventure was. But it's a message to Ben.
Right.
So in the second book,
they go to the place of their first adventure, which was Monster Island. Yep.
And now, did you read any of the monster books by Marvel? Because that led into this too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of having like their own civil war, I guess you can call it.
Well, they apparently
diplomacy, presidential elections.
They're all the Thing and Johnny take the Fantastic Car, which looks like a bathtub.
It looks like the old Fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like the old Fantastic Car. But they take the car to Monster Island, and when they get there, they find in like the cave, like all the monsters.
Right.
Got Mole Man and all these other monsters, and apparently Mole Man is like the president residing over all the monsters, but they think that the Human Torch and the Thing are there to challenge the power struggle, I guess. So they all have to fight. The Thing and the Human Torch all have to fight all these monsters. There's hundreds of monsters there, and who shows up but Dr. Doom, who's been following the whole time.
Yeah,
because he's not as good as you think he is.
But he's not that bad either.
Yeah, but you don't know his underlying. You don't know why he's there.
Yep.
Like he gave this in good faith to Ben because it was meant for him, and now he's tracking him.
Well, I think because he learns that there's this other device that he wants.
Right. Yeah, the thing that he gave to Ben was only the hologram for the message. It wasn't the actual device, the multi-dimensional portal device. So once they're, you hear that? Once they're at the, once they kind of take care of the monsters on Monster Island with the help of Dr. Doom, Dr. Doom's like, there's nothing here. My scanners aren't picking anything up. You know, what the hell's going on? I'm out of here. Leave you two losers alone. This was a cool scene.
The flashback.
Yeah, the flashback. This is kind of tells you a little bit of backstory about the relationship between Reed and Dr. Doom. It goes back to when they're in college, and it only goes back to 1998, which I thought was weird.
Huh.
I thought it should go back a little more. But it's Ben, it's Reed, and what's Dr. Doom's real name?
Victor Von Doom.
Victor. And Victor all in college. Yeah, there it is, Victor, right there on the page. I should look at it. And they play a practical joke on Victor.
Yes.
And what they did was Victor beat out Reed for some award, some trophy, and instead of on the plaque of the trophy, it says, let's see, where is it? Victor Von Doom, but they got a piece of tape and they put over the M on Doom, they put F, so it says Victor Von Doof, and then they put it back into the casing
Right.
of the college. So that was their big practical joke on Dr. Doom. But it was a nice little panel.
Yep.
The artwork changes a little bit. It looks older. It's a fun panel.
Right.
That you see the relationship between Ben and Reed. But then that's what makes them realize we're in the wrong place.
Yep.
We shouldn't be on Monster Island. We should be on where we did our first adventure, not the Fantastic Four's first adventure, Ben and Reed's
Right.
first adventure. And that was in the college with this
Right.
particular practical joke. So Ben thinks that whatever they're looking for, this multisect, is in the trophy that they used
Yes.
for the practical joke, and that's where book 2 ends. Book 3.
Book 3 takes off from where that book ends, and you kind of get into more of the story between Johnny Storm and why he's losing his power.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of run into a character from the first book. The Thing meets at this gala that's celebrating the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of skipped over her because she didn't mean anything at the time.
Right. So just a random person that you don't really realize in that book. But as we talked about, Human Torch is losing his powers, and Thing goes to another superhero who's had the same issue, and it's Hercules.
Yeah.
And I guess he lost his powers at some time because he calls himself Powerless Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
So Hercules explains to him.
I like the bar scene. They meet him at the bar.
Yeah.
And he's talking smack about Thor, which
Yeah.
is funny. I like that part too.
He tells him, I have a friend who helped me get my powers back. You know, we got to go visit this person.
Mhm.
And you go, and it's the woman from the first book.
Right, and her name is Ranja?
Yeah.
Rashna,
right.
yeah.
And her power is she helps
Give powers back to
yeah,
superheroes
like
or
fixes
villains.
them. Yep.
Yeah,
So
for a lot of money, for lots of money.
well, that's the whole thing. She's there and she's telling them, "Oh, I can fix you, but you need an appointment. Like I'm doing a favor to Hercules.
Right.
This is what it costs. If you don't want to pay for it, then don't pay for it."
Yeah, she's not nice.
And they're kind of like, "We saved the world like thousands of times." She's
Yeah.
like, "Well, I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to give you your powers back. This is
Where-
what it costs."
where's that
Like,
Baxter money?
Yeah. But you see in one of her like holding cells is Hydro Man.
Yeah, it's one of
And
her patients.
they're all taken back. Like, how can you help this guy? He's a villain.
Mhm.
Do you know how many times we put him in prison? Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? And it's like, well, he paid, so like, what do you want to do?
Right.
Um,
Then there's a cool splash page.
Right.
Yeah.
I see
Hydro
what you
Man.
did there.
Like that. And he and Johnny go at it, and she has like some Rashna has some like glove, like magical glove thing
Right.
that helps.
restore the powers.
I guess so. Whatever it does.
But you learn that the issue with Johnny is not just related to him.
Right.
It's related to the Thing, to Sue Storm, to Reed Richards, and it's because they're all intertwined.
Right.
That when they're in proximity to each other, their energies kind of like feed off one another.
Mhm.
But when they're apart, they start to fade away like batteries.
Right.
So you have this issue now with the powers. Like, she can't seem to fix it because
Right.
she doesn't have the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
They don't have the money to pay her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like, they strike a deal. You come with us to help us find our family. We'll take you on this journey to find this multi-sect, which she's interested in.
Right.
And they know where it is, or they have it.
Mm-hmm.
And this starts the
the journey. It starts
the adventure.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
the adventure. How do you feel about this taking place? Like, it's almost like this just happened. It's almost like the Fantastic Four and Sue and Reed just vanished.
Right.
But it's been many, many, many years. I don't know about in the comic book world. Like, you know?
I don't know.
It doesn't bother you at all, right?
No. So I don't know where it relates to the comic book world.
Right, okay.
In our world, the Fantastic Four have been gone for a while.
Yeah.
But in this, I'm just happy to see these characters again.
Yeah, and I really like how they did that, where they're all connected because
Right.
they got their powers together. They can kind of lose their powers
Yeah.
together, and the Thing is also losing his strength. He's
Yes.
not. He even says, like, I would be able to wipe. I should be able to wipe the floor with Doctor Doom, and I had a hard time with him on Monster Island
Yep.
because he fought him a little bit with the monsters. So she agrees to help out Johnny by helping them find the Fantastic Four
Right.
in the multiverse or whatever. Meantime, you got. I didn't get this ending. Now, this is the Thinker.
Right.
The Thinker is having like a mental breakdown, and he's talking with Doctor Doom, and by the end, there's this panel or this page where he cuts his hair off to make himself look like Reed Richards, and he's gonna try to replace Reed Richards somehow.
Yeah, because Doctor Doom finds that he's stealing a bunch of his
Baxter Tech.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I guess Doctor Doom ransacked it and was like, "This is coming up. What are you doing?"
Right.
This is kind of like the good side of Doctor Doom, like trying to stop villains. And you find out the Thinker is going mad, and he's hell bent on being Reed Richards.
Right. He's like Doom can replace Tony Stark. I'll replace Reed Richards.
Right.
And he cuts his hair, and he kind of looks like a madman Reed Richards. But that's how that book ends. Now I said I don't have book 5, but so we're on book 4 now, and book 4 is their first journey,
Right.
which is pretty cool. They end up going to another.
I really like this book.
This book is really good.
It was a lot of fun.
I enjoy this one. They go to another multiverse of Manhattan,
Right.
and when they get there, they're met by 2 superheroes.
Yep.
They're met by She-Hulk and Wolverine.
Right.
And I love the outfits. I love the they work for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
They're in S.H.I.E.L.D. uniforms. And Wolverine's in a brown and yellow, like, Wolverine costume.
Yeah, the classic Wolverine.
Classic Wolverine, but a little bit altered for this dimension. And he's counting with his claws. He's like, listen, you guys, who the hell are you?
Right.
Because obviously Johnny and the Thing
Or
aren't on this planet.
Right.
So they're not recognized. They're like, they know that they're...
something's wrong.
Yeah, they know something's wrong. It's like, who are you? Explain. And he's like, 1, and one claw comes out. 2 claws come out. 3, and then he stabs Johnny through the fucking shoulder, which is pretty cool. And She-Hulk is beaten up on the Thing. And then once Johnny's blood comes out red, because they think they're Kree or Skrulls. They think they're Skrulls. And once Johnny's blood comes out red, Wolverine's like, wait a minute, aren't Skrulls' blood green?
Right.
These guys might be for real. So they force them to take them to their Reed Richards or their Baxter building.
Yep.
And they find that Reed is alive. I think only Reed is alive in this, right?
No,
Oh no, Sue's alive.
yep.
Sue's alive too. But Johnny is gone.
Yep.
And
Thing is dead.
Thing is dead. And you find out a little bit later in the book why. But they see them in the. Then there's another flashback. What was this flashback?
The flashback is how Thing dies.
Yeah, that's how Thing dies. Thing dies with Galactus. Galactus kills Thing just by like staring at him. Funny.
Just turns him into dust.
Yeah, he dusted him like
Yep.
Infinity War.
Yep.
Spoiler alert! You should have seen that by now. And then Doctor Doom
Saves the day.
saves the day by becoming Galactus.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yep.
So you have this giant celestial Doctor Doom body that is kind of protecting the
Kind
world.
of reminiscent of like the Secret Wars book.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But that's how the Thing died, and it doesn't tell you about Johnny, I don't think, till the next book.
Right.
Which I don't have. So I hope you can kind of summarize it up. I know the Silver Surfer's involved.
Kinda.
Silver Surfer gives his powers to Johnny
Yes.
in book 5.
So Johnny Storm kind of becomes the cosmic protector.
Yeah.
Of the universe. I think he's working in unison with Doctor Doom.
Okay.
To kind of keep him satiated.
Mm-hmm. Keep Doctor Doom satiated.
yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Doom doesn't want to eat the worlds like Galactus, but
Right.
he wants the power.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to Sue Storm, who you find is head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
And the whole book is kind of, you find out that Reed Richards, he kind of goes mad, and kind of becomes a hermit because he couldn't defeat Galactus, and he lost his best friend.
Right.
So the whole book is the Thing and that Reed Richards talking about what happened, why did you give up, like you should have never, let this happen. Doctor Doom, isn't smarter than you, kind of thing, like a big pep talk from the Thing, which kind of like stirs up the whole, where's Johnny?
Right.
He's missing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting the band back together, but 2 out of the 3 are,
right.
From different worlds. You find out that Silver Surfer has no powers, and he's living with Emma Frost.
He was a big part of the last part of this book. The big part.
Yeah.
Now this is all the other Dimension Fantastic Four.
Right.
Which is pretty cool how they went into that whole story, because that's what it became. It became a story about this alternate Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Not even the Thing and Johnny from our world or our universe. The 6th book, which is the finale of this story, picks up with them trying to defeat Doctor Doom as Galactus. And I love this. It's not a splash page because it's only a 1-page drawing, but it's so Kirby, like inspired.
Yes.
With all the little Kirby popcorn marks in there, the circles. Oh, it's beautiful. So they have
I would love to buy art from this book.
I found the inker, Walden Wong. He was going through the original art of this issue before I read it, so I stopped watching the video. But he was going to go through how he goes about his inking.
Right.
But this page looks phenomenal, dude, on the comic book board. Oh, it looks amazing. But they have this plan to where how they're going to beat
Doctor Doom.
Dr. Galactus Doom.
Right.
I don't know what else to call him. But the Thing gets huge.
Somehow, they use Pym particles.
They use Pym particles to make the Thing giant so he can kind of fist fight Dr. Doom. And while he's kind of fist fighting Dr. Doom, so Johnny turns into like this, supernova, uses all his energy, all his power that
Their Johnny Storm
that Silver Surfer gave to him, to
Cosmic Johnny Storm
to try to defeat Dr. Doom, but it doesn't work.
Right.
But it works in a sense to where
distracts him.
It satiates him so much that he's so full of energy that he decides that he's not going to destroy the world or the planet, because he kind of turned. He got more Galactus as time went on, and he was going to destroy the Earth and devour it like Galactus would have. But this kind of puts him into this state of he's very full of energy, and he doesn't need to eat it right away. So this is their chance to wipe out Doctor Doom in their world, and that's where Emma Frost comes in.
But you kind of get a moment with our Doctor Doom, superior Doctor Doom, infamous Doctor Doom, where he's reverting back to his old ways.
Yeah.
And the Thing's kind of like, hey, you're better than this. If you really want to be a hero, you got to help us.
Right.
And he kind of goes back to helping them, and he kind of saves the day a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Emma Frost becomes the big hero.
Yeah.
Because she kind of implants her mind into Galactus and sacrifices herself.
And she becomes a life giver. So she's like the anti-Galactus.
Yep.
And becomes part of the universe.
Yep.
And Silver Surfer gets his energy back, gets the power cosmic back.
From the Human Torch.
From their Human Torch. He's like, thanks for lending this to me, I appreciate it. And he becomes the Silver Surfer again. So I wonder if they're going to do another...
He does it so that he could be the herald for her.
Right, he's going to be the herald for Emma
So
Frost.
they won't be separated. Because I guess they're like a thing in this universe.
Right, the Thing.
A thing.
A thing. And that's really how this book ends. And and Ben and Reed from their world, have a little heart to heart.
Right.
And but the whole thing is that they didn't find what they were looking for.
No, because
what they're looking for is their Reed and Sue.
Was it in? I think it was in the last book. You find out that the scientist Rashna, she steals the.
I didn't read the 7th issue yet.
No, I think it's issue 5.
Oh, okay.
She steals the multisect.
Oh, okay.
And because she realizes that the energy signatures from Sue and Reed don't exist. Mm-hmm. But she needs to find something else that
Yeah, she has her own plan.
She takes it and kind of like disappears, and Doctor Doom is kind of like, guys, she's getting away with what we need.
Yeah, yeah.
And she does.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of left without anything anymore.
Yeah. They're stuck in that realm. which is really interesting. I really enjoyed these.
I loved it. I love the art. I think the
covers
story
are
was great. The writing was good.
Mm-hmm. I like Zdarsky. He's doing a good job.
It was a fun book.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep going
Yeah.
with it. Absolutely gonna keep going with it.
I think if they keep it up with the same team,
Yeah.
I'll take it right up till they bring Fantastic Four back.
Cool. I wonder how many issues that's gonna be. The artwork in this book is great, man. And you said it wasn't Chung? Who is this one?
It changes in one of the books.
This one's Chung. 6 is Chung. That's why I like it so much. This Doctor Doom panel, man, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, I would definitely get some art from that.
Yeah, and even at the end of this book, you get this where Emma Frost becomes part of the multiverse.
Yeah,
And
that's a cool one.
It's mostly black,
Right.
But it's a very profound page. And how do you like Doctor Doom's new armor?
It's very Iron Man.
It's very Iron Man.
I don't know if that ties in. I don't know if that was done. If that's from another storyline.
Right.
I have Superior Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that ties into infamous Doctor Doom or
Yeah.
where he ties in. That's when I stopped reading Marvel. So
I do like the outfit.
I like
though.
it. I think it's really cool.
It's like just picture Iron Man if he was all like steel colored and had a hood on.
And instead of like his usual blue lights, it's green.
Yeah, it's green lights.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, I always liked Doctor Doom. He was
a good
always
book.
he was always a cool character. So pick that up if you want. It's good artwork. It's a good story. Now I think it's time to hear a word from our sponsor.
Comic Book Corner, brought to you by Comic Book Jones, located at 2220 Forest Avenue in Staten Island, and Royal Collectibles at 9601 Metropolitan Avenue in Queens, New York. Visit these fine establishments for all of your comic book needs.
All right, so Joe, did you have a book that you read this week that you particularly liked?
I didn't read it yet.
Okay.
But it was something that caught my eye because it's in the same vein as these books with different heroes popping up, different villains, crossovers of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Old Man Logan number 41.
Yeah.
It's him against Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like this Spider-Man villain against a Wolverine.
Yeah.
Why not?
In the future?
I think it's whatever the current universe is.
Okay.
I don't know. I assume Kraven was dead.
Yeah.
But I haven't read it yet, so once I do, I'll let you know how it is.
All right.
But it caught my eye. I'm like, I like those crossovers where you get two heroes or a villain that shouldn't normally cross.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always buy a book like that.
I have a stack of books so high I haven't been able to read very much, but I did read the Justice League number 2 book.
How was it?
I really enjoyed it. There's a lot going on though. Just
From
know,
one?
From one. There's a ton of stuff going on.
Because you had the wall or whatever the breach,
You got the source wall breach. You got the totality
You're
hitting
right.
the earth.
and then you have the Legion of Doom
You got the Legion of Doom.
and everything that Martian Manhunter is dealing with.
Right, and all of it is dealt with in one book.
Really?
It's a lot. I mean, there's no conclusion to any of that stuff, but it is all brought up in one book. It opens up with Lex Luthor, and he finds some artifact, which comes up later. But the cool part of where this book starts is with Jon Stewart.
Right.
Jon Stewart's on some mission in space, and he arrests somebody, some alien, for doing something wrong, and Batman shows up in the form of Swamp Thing, because Jon Stewart has this plant,
Right.
has this cosmic plant that he uses to like help him stay focused, and it takes away his bad memories. This plant helps him
Got
take
it.
away his bad memories. But Swamp Thing, I guess, can tap into the plant in his ship,
Right.
and he manifests Batman in it,
Okay.
which is really cool.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like it's like this blue Batman that's like covered in vines and stuff, which is really neat, so that they can talk.
Yeah.
Again, it's another hologram like Obi-Wan
Right.
Kenobi, but Batman's trying to recruit Jon Stewart to be in the Justice League because he thinks that his skill set will help them figure out this totality. So the totality has manifested.
He wasn't
itself.
already in the Justice League?
Well, I guess Hal is. Hal's in the Justice League.
Is he out?
No, I guess if he just needs help.
Oh, okay.
I guess if they want him to help, he'll come. But he wants to be
Alone.
He wants to be the leader of the Green Lantern Corps. And that's what he feels he should be.
Got it.
Especially if Hal's gone, they need him there. So Batman's like, listen, we really need your help. The totality has taken the form of a human head in the middle of the desert. It landed in Vegas, and it surrounded itself in this protective covering which looks like a face.
Okay.
They keep saying to themselves, this face looks familiar, but I can't pinpoint who it is. So eventually, I'm sure they're going to show you the face and figure out
Martha.
Martha. I bet you it is. And then you get to the title page, which is awesome, because what happened is things can go into the totality. If you've ever seen, there was a movie recently with, who played Jane Foster in the movies? What's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman was in like a space movie, like a sci-fi movie recently. Forget the name of it.
So do I.
I can't. It's not Arrival, but people are out there, and then Joe's looking it up. But there are people screaming at the radio right now. But it was very much like that, where they had to walk through this like wall that's separating the Earth or the world from the totality. Annihilation. So people are walking in to the totality to see like what's inside, and it's altering them, it's mutating them. So Killer Croc goes in, and he comes out as like a Godzilla / Doomsday kind of creature.
Oh God.
They're not making a big deal out of him because
Right.
I think he's very beatable, but he does like change and alter. He has like Krypton breath. It's like, imagine Godzilla had like Krypton breath instead of fire. But it's a really cool page, and it's Jimenez is the artist, who is actually absolutely amazing. I love all his stuff. Like, he's messing with the Speed Force. Like, Killer Croc's able to mess with the Speed Force. He's messing with all their different powers. But it's a pretty cool fight scene. And then you get the Legion of Doom showing up, and Lex has this. He figures out that they have to unlock the 7 hidden forces of the universe, and that he needs all of the people in the Legion of Doom to help him do so. So some of them are off doing certain things to unlock these 7 hidden forces. One of which is Sinestro. Sinestro is out trying to unlock one of these forces. You don't find out what it is till the end. And another one was there's this little baby who's the key to unlocking one of these forces, and it's Gorilla Grodd. That's like his thing. This baby is with Gorilla Grodd. I don't know who it is, but it has something to do with helping him to destroy the Flash somehow, because that's all they want.
Right.
All the Legion of Doom want is to destroy their nemesis, but Lex Luthor wants more than that. So now their plan is that they have to enter the totality.
Right.
But the only 2 people that are strong enough to enter the totality are Superman and Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
And what's really cool, this is the coolest part of the book, Batman shrinks himself down into like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right.
And with Adam's help, and goes into Superman's bloodstream in a little spaceship. What was that movie called?
Inner Space.
Inner Space. He does Inner Space.
It's Anatomy Park, but in Superman.
Yes, it's Anatomy Park.
I watch that cartoon. I read that comic.
So Batman,
Rick and Morty get on it.
Batman's inside of Clark. It's funny. He goes, "I'm inside Clark's body," and Clark goes to that's one thing to file under phrases never spoken about again, which is so funny. Oh, it's great. And
So Superman knows this.
Oh no, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Superman knows. This is the plan. The plan is, we need Batman's intellect to get in there and to do what we need to do, but he can't withstand being in the totality because he'll get all messed up. So he has to go inside Superman and talk to him with like a comm. And Martian Manhunter asks Hawkgirl to go inside him, and that was a pretty interesting little conversation.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
You're gonna do what?
Gonna do what?
I'm
Meanwhile,
gonna put up my brakes and fly right by me.
hit the brakes. He's gonna fly right by. Sinestro is no longer a yellow lantern.
Okay.
He's like a purple lantern now.
Well,
right?
there are different power rings.
None of them. None of the ones you think of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a new one.
Okay.
And he says, you've known me to wear green and yellow, but now that I'm back in the colors I sought from the start, they allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Sinestro, the lantern who just unlocked the invisible emotional spectrum. So he is the ultraviolet core.
Okay.
Yeah, right? And he captures John
Can't
Stewart.
wait for Neon Core.
Right? Bring back the 90s, baby. So he captures John Stewart, and if it goes back to Superman and Martian Manhunter having to go into the totality. They enter the totality. They're walking through it, and then you see it from their perspective. Superman and Martian Manhunter are like struggling to get through the totality, and you find out that Lex Luthor, who was supposedly with the Legion of Doom in like his building, is not really Lex Luthor. That was just like a Lex bot.
Okay. Makes
and
sense.
The real Lex Luthor is
in-
also in Superman with Batman.
What?
In his little nano inner space thing.
Did Superman not realize
Superman
this?
has no idea, and neither does Batman. I can't wait to see what Batman says when he finds Lex Luthor there. and all the people that are not inside somebody else's body, like Aquaman and Flash and Wonder Woman and Beast Boy, they're all like in the control room, like listening to what's
Right.
going on with Superman and Martian Manhunter and everybody. And who shows up? Jon Stewart as a Ultraviolet Lantern of the Ultraviolet Corps, and he's gonna kick some ass. So the next book is called Attack of the Ultraviolet Corps, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
So I'm in.
Sounds good.
I'm in, man. I'm digging it. And then at the end, there's a Titans 23 preview, which I'm not. I could care less about. But yeah, man. So what do you think about next week? Next week, I think we should do a request from Mark James.
Yeah.
At Mark James Poop.
Is that it?
That's his Twitter handle. At Mark James Poop. He requested God Loves, Man Kills, which is an X-Men trade. So I'm gonna go out and buy that. I'll get that on Amazon. Hopefully it's not too many issues. Hopefully it's only about 6 issues. But we'll see. It might be longer. But it doesn't matter because I'll read it.
Right.
I'll read it for you, Mark James Poop. And on that note, we will see you all next week. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate you listening. We're getting some good numbers. We're getting some good reviews and good feedback on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. So really appreciate that. Next week, God Loves, Man Kills. I'm Steve.
And I'm Joe.
See you next week, everybody. Go see Ant-Man.
Peace.
The thing with the strength of 1,000 men. Johnny, flame on, Torch, and Sue, the invisible girl. The Fantastic Four, united in their fight against